So, if you're just joining us from part 1 of our review of Spider-Man No Way Home, I'm glad that you're able to now partake in part 2. We are happy to have it up and available for you for your listening pleasure, and we figured that shortening it up into 2 episodes might be a little bit more convenient for your listening needs. Enjoy!
And, of course they do in the lab there. And, when that happened again, when they call out Peter and everyone points to each other, the whole theater erupts. Carmen shoots through the roof. It was awesome.
I completely missed that. I wasn't even paying attention to that.
Drew didn't catch it. I'm sitting there like when they started doing it, I was bouncing in my seat and I started hitting him again. And he's like, "What? What?" I'm like, "They did the thing. They did the thing. They did the thing." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "They did the thing." And he was like, "Oh yeah, they did the thing." So yeah, most of our theater missed it too.
Well, but it was the perfect way that they did it. It was so subtle that I'm like,
Yeah.
it took me to it was over. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. That was their nod to the meme. And it was like, so cool.
Oh my god.
Backtracking, I also like when Norman reprised his line, I'm something of a scientist myself, which is also grew to be its own animal as far as a meme went. And, it was a very aware movie. Like, it was aware of itself. It was aware of the fandom. And it was aware that it had to, push the story further. And again, just incredibly well made. So much care.
Yeah, Drew made a point, like, I think right after the scene in the lab where I pointed out to him that they were that was their version of the meme. He leaned over to me. He's like, "There have been a lot of meme references in this movie." It's like a lot. I'll have to see if I can get him to, when we watch it again, to point more of them out to me because I have a tendency to miss those. But I don't know. It was nice, like the tie-ins to just other pop culture, and like you said, like it was very self-aware. And
Lady's got something.
So I was just gonna say, back to when we were talking about how, like, when they introduced like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Tobey Maguire comes out, and both me and Gabrielle go, "Oh my god, he's old." That was our first one. We said it. We couldn't help ourselves.
I thought he looked great.
I did too, and I like when Garfield tried to be all smug and like, "So, you got your suit, old man?" He just goes, "Yes, I got my suit. Sit down, child. Sit down.
Yeah.
I've been doing this longer than you."
Cool youth pastor? A cool youth pastor.
Which brings us right round. Are we ready to talk about the fight? That lovely end battle? Because there's so much I want to talk about this. Steve, I must pay homage to you saying that you did tell me that the scene where the lizard's head gets knocked back 30 feet was them editing out the other Spider-Mans. And you were right. It's exactly what happened. Same scene, just with the 2 other Spider-Man in it. Spider-Mans. Whatever the plural would be.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Pig.
Spider.
Say that again, Gordon. I'm sorry.
Oh, you weren't listening?
No, I was listening, but I didn't follow what you said. When I said something about
about the trailer.
When we were watching the trailer together, you said that they edited out the Spider people.
Yeah.
And you completely called it correctly.
I had a feeling.
So I would like to talk about the scene that actually had tears rolling down my face that it took me a little while to recover from. So, Bobby, you said you have not watched the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
But I did see the recap on it, so I feel like I know what you're going to talk about.
Okay,
Liza,
so
are you gonna say what I think? You're not. You're gonna say what I think
in
you're gonna say.
in the second Amazing Spider-Man movie, when I watched that in theaters, I bawled my eyes out at the end when Gwen Stacy died. I
Yep.
knew it was coming. I knew what was going to happen, and I was still hoping that they would change it. And I remember sitting in the theater next to my best friend just crying. The callback and what they did in this, I loved. And like I said, it left tears rolling down my face when
Same.
MJ was falling and Tom got pushed out of the way the same way that Andrew did in his movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then Andrew got to save her, and the fact that he caught her,
Yeah.
I like it.
Gave him that.
It was
Yeah.
his
That redemption.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all the villains got second chances, so he got his.
yeah,
It
and
was
you,
And
that Peter.
since we kind of skipped over it when they met on the roof, I think it brought a little like recognition to his face that all the other Spider-Men's women are MJ, not Gwen Stacy.
yeah,
So that
Mhm.
yes,
kind of like linked a dot like, oh, they're trying to call out that they changed the name up of his woman, and that's why they. And I was like, that makes sense. So far, every other Spider-Man's woman's been named
well,
MJ
Well,
or some
in this,
version of
that,
that.
there was MJ was supposed to be in the second Amazing Spider-Man, but it got a little bit too long and her scenes were cut, which I'm very happy about because I cannot stand the actress that they had cast for her. I'm gonna leave that alone. I hate her face anyway. Um, but no, that one got me. Like Drew had like I missed part of the fight after that because I was sitting there like wiping my eyes trying to calm myself down because that's how much that one got me.
That was a great moment. Certainly one of the
Mhm.
best of the whole movie.
Yeah.
Can we talk about too? You have three very big actors occupying the same scene, and their chemistry was
Oh
awesome.
yeah.
It it was like it was like you're watching brothers that
mhm.
had
Andrew Spider-Man said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He referred to
Yeah.
them as brothers.
He's like, I never knew what it was like to have brothers.
And it's
and
like
it was so good. It was so natural.
yeah, like nobody outshined anybody else. Like they were very
Humble.
even. Yeah. Like they worked, like you said, they
I'm
worked
lame.
very well
No, you're
together.
not. You're amazing.
That was my favorite part.
Yes.
Showing the middle brother with issues of not being as good as the older brother and younger brother because the one went to space and fought aliens, the other one fought aliens. He's like, I just fight guys. I'm lame. And
I
then
just fight
big brother
Russian
comes in
guys
and
and
goes, "You're not lame. You're
You're
amazing.
amazing."
Say it with me. Amazing." Like, okay, calm down, Toby.
And the play on the
Toby's back though. I'm dying.
oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's like,
And I got
gotta
this
stretch this out.
back
Lower
thing.
back problems, some swinging. He's like, yeah, same. You want me to crack your back? Yeah. Can you do that for me? I actually did that to my buddy at work yesterday because he was like, can you crack my back? I said, I got you.
their whole interactions were they're priceless. And to circle back, the whole scene where Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man caught MJ, it made me realize that, the scene where they meet Tom Holland's Spider-Man and they're sharing their Uncle Ben stories. And then they're there in that moment. And it's like that kind of got Tom Holland through that situation in a sense. And it's like they also gave Andrew Garfield closure to like move on in a sense with his. And I was like, we're just three supportive Spider-Men. We just love each other. We're just out here helping each other through our trauma.
Yeah.
And Stephen, I love when they're on the rooftop of the school, and Tom looks up and he sees both of them there. He wasn't even shocked. He was just like, I know who you guys are. Call it the PD Tingle or what have you.
Spider-Sense.
But yeah, of course, Spider Sense. But I was trying to tie that one in there. But
Yeah.
Drop the pin picture, the Peter Tingle.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. It's like he already was aware.
You know what I thought was not funny, but when Tom said, you guys don't know what I've been through. But I'm thinking, oh, actually, yes, they do very much. And I feel like that, like you said, Stephen, that they pulled him through that, and it brought, I feel like this movie was like the end of Tom Holland's origin story. Like it like brought him like up to speed with the rest of them.
Yes.
It was.
It's like it cemented him as the mainstay, and we're not going to have another movie where we have to spend the whole film. Like, I mean, I'm sure that we're never going to get over Tony Stark. We're never going to get over May, but it's like now we don't have to spend an entire movie dedicated to just that. It's like they were able to get him in a place where he can move forward and continue to kill it as Spider-Man.
We're like most
Spider-Man on his own.
Yeah.
Right.
Which by the events of the end, he actually does have to be.
So, skipping ahead a little bit on that, I do have something I want to bring up about the ending scene like that. But how many of us were disappointed that Peter didn't stop himself and Toby had to get in front of him before he shanked the hell out of the Green Goblin?
Now, see, I liked it.
So, no, I'm not. I love that scene. It showed how much more that our MCU Peter has to grow.
Yeah.
I was just sad for Peter that he couldn't bring it in on his own. It still showed that even in the end of the movie, even after everything, he still needed someone there to hold his hand.
Well, I feel like because both Andrew and Toby went that dark route, they've both killed people in vengeance. I feel like in that movie, Tom learned certain things from Andrew. Tom learned certain things from Toby. And in that scene, that one we're talking about right now, that's what Toby brought. One of the things that Toby brought. Also, I also need visual and verbal confirmation that Toby is not mortally wounded. Because I about threw up in my seat.
He's fine.
I mean, really though?
No, because he made the comment. He said, "Oh, I've been stabbed plenty of times." Like he's been stabbed worse by the Green Goblin and everyone else than just that little poke.
Aunt May acted like she wasn't dying either.
Aunt May wasn't bit by a radioactive spider.
Don't care. I still cried.
I was halfway out of my seat, like hands in the air, like mid gasp for the next like couple minutes after that. Go and like looking at Drew, going, "How are they going to save him? How are they?" And I'm like, "Venom's here somewhere. Venom can like jump over to him, help him heal, and then go back to Eddie. That's what they're going to do. Venom's going to." And Drew's just looking at me like, "Would you please calm down?" I'm like, they can't kill Toby.
Yeah. I had a full-on panic attack.
I was like, what? But the only person who's gonna die in this movie is May and Tobey Maguire? That's horseshit. I'm sorry. Sorry, listeners.
No, I was like, if they kill Toby, I will riot.
Right? I would have like.
And the way they did it was just me. I mean, it was the same thing with Aunt May. Like they're like, don't toy with me. Like, kill him or don't kill him. Like, don't do this. Like he's laying there, and you're like, okay, is he bleeding out? Did they puncture his heart? Like.
Yeah, because you don't see exactly where he was stabbed.
No,
and
you
to me,
don't.
it seemed like it went right through the stomach.
That's what I thought too. Like I thought it was kind of mirroring how Green Goblin stabbed himself with the glider. Like I thought it was going to be the same type of wound. Like they just kind of traded one's death for the other. Like he'll manage to save Osborn, but at the cost of Toby.
That's exactly what I thought too.
I did really like the joke that Andrew made after Tom gave them a hug and walked away, and Andrew just he's holding Toby up and just looks at him and goes, you're in a lot of pain right now, aren't you?
He's like, oh yeah,
so much pain. And then I was like, okay, he'll be fine, it's okay.
I mean, I guess I still want somebody like I would have liked the mid-credit scene of like, hey, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Can we give Tobey Maguire another movie just to show us that he's healed?
Yes.
Honestly, I would love to see another movie just of Toby and then another one for Andrew as well, of them going back to their universes and getting to see their villains healed and whole again, like how they would deal with that.
Just like a mini series almost.
Yeah,
Almost like a
yeah.
Spider-Man what ifs.
Yeah, kind of. Something
I
There's
need
like
that closure.
there's a lot of internet rumors running around talking about, now that the multiverse is open, is giving each of those guys, another movie.
mhm.
Now, again, Carmen's not with us here tonight, but one thing she wanted, a question that she wanted to pose to everybody was, okay, so the spell where everyone now truly forgets that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, Peter Parker in essence does not exist. Does that
It
spell carry over through the rest of the multiverse? Now does nobody know who Toby is and Andrew is? Does that mean
yeah.
Ooh.
Toby and MJ are no longer together? You know what I
So
mean?
so
What do you guys think?
I was wondering the same thing because Strange had to make it so that everyone who was trying to come to their universe forgot that Peter was Spider-Man. So it makes sense that it would have stretched across like all the universes that were open to them.
Oh, I never even thought of that.
I feel
Honestly,
like it has to.
I find it more believable that Strange, now having a second time or at least a third run around with this spell, figured out how to make it their Peter Parker that's forgotten. Not all Peter Parkers, because he sent everyone home, shut the gates, closed the doors,
Oh,
and made the MCU Peter Parker vanish.
I could see
yeah.
that. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
It's
because it was technically sealed up.
it is most definitely in Stephen Strange's wheelhouse and knowledge to do that, especially after he's already had 3 mess ups or 2
Sure.
mess ups, and this is the
Sure.
third charge.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
Yeah, let's hope. Because I also like that Toby mentioned that him and MJ did actually make it work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was very satisfying to me.
Yeah. I was wondering if we were gonna get a cameo from her.
I
I
wish.
wanted one so bad.
Yeah.
I feel like, again, based on how they said, people just started popping up in the universe. I feel like because she knew who he was, that Kirsten Dunst most certainly was walking around in that universe. I mean, of course, not in any scenes, but like if you're going along with that theory, she had to have popped in there at some point.
Yeah. Well, I did like, and this is a scene that I definitely want to watch again and be able to like pause and go frame by frame when they were showing more people who were getting ready to come through, and they showed silhouettes of Scorpion and Rhino, and there were several other silhouettes next to them.
Mhm.
Drew and I didn't get a chance to get a really good look, but I saw some that did kind of. I saw one that looked like it could have been Miles because it was a more like kind of tall, lanky silhouette. And I
Mhm.
saw another one that to me kind of looked like it could have been Spider-Gwen.
Oh,
And I
wow.
mean, so, because it didn't have to, obviously, it didn't have to just be villains, it was everyone who knew. So that would have brought along other heroes as well. So
Mhm.
I really want to go back and analyze those scenes in particular again. Like I said, go frame by frame and see who we can identify.
For it.
I was hoping to find the Watcher in the mix
That would have been cool.
because that was most certainly the Watcher's background that you could see.
Yeah. Speaking of The Watcher and the What If series, has that so everybody stayed for the final end credits, and Steven, you've been shown the final end credits,
Yeah.
yes?
I found it on Twitter.
Okay.
TikTok applies to you so well.
What?
Said my TikTok that I sent earlier
Oh.
applies to you so well.
I honestly read the article wrong.
So,
So before we get to that whole end scene,
uh-huh.
I want to ask, so the final scene with Peter getting that apartment, did anyone else recognize that apartment?
Yes, I did.
Oh, yes.
Did anyone else recognize that voice?
Yep.
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 Wait, I must have missed it.
It's
That is
Toby's
the-
apartment.
It's
Oh,
yeah,
That is
Toby,
Toby's apartment.
But what was the voice?
the
That was the
landlord.
Landlord.
Manager.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
Wow.
hey, real quick, I want to backpedal to the coffee shop scene at the end.
Oh yes.
Ooh.
Okay, talk about getting misty, but there is a very subtle detail that I don't know if anyone else caught. Dylan, I'm looking at you, man. MJ is still wearing the broken
Yes.
Dahlia necklace.
Yes.
So, she might not know who Peter is. She might not remember. She might remember she got that necklace in Europe, but not from where or from who. But,
Mhm.
Maybe that's going to be the link. And I don't think it's going to be in the next movie because I feel like her and Ned are going to be in Boston. He's still going to be in New York. But I feel like that's the link that will get her to
Yeah.
remember.
It has to be. It's got to be that, or it's got to be something through Ned. And I'm curious if they're going to talk more about Ned's magic capability, or they're just going to leave it as it was.
Well, you know what? So I feel like there's a possibility with Ned exploring these sorcerer type things, and they really spent a lot of time talking about Ned is Tom's best friend, and then when Toby was like, yeah, my best friend died in my arms because he tried to kill me, and he's like, I'll never try to kill you, Peter. Like, is that gonna be like a hobgoblin foreshadow?
Origin story.
So I'm pretty sure William Dafoe's Green Goblin turned into a rendition of the Hobgoblin in this, with the way he had the pouches and the hood. He had very much a Hobgoblin feel to him.
But still, Hobgoblin still isn't there though.
Oh no, I agree.
I definitely got the radar stood up for me when they at first I was like, oh, that's a funny callback or whatever or reference, and then I'm like, no, they put that in there for a reason.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they had Ned become a villain or like an anti-hero, because the comic book Neds do exist and have been used multiple times as like a breaking point for Peter. He's been killed and revived multiple times, and I do believe he's been possessed and turned into a villain once or twice. But I didn't realize it until I happened to see a video the other day about it, talking about it, that he's actually a major comic book character. And that's one thing I won't lie. Never been the biggest Spider-Man fan when it came to the comic books. Honestly, the only comic of Spider-Man I loved was Spider-Man 2099. I hope to see more with Ned, and I actually do agree with you, Bobby, that necklace will be a big point, because that was a big thing for Peter and her in the second movie.
Yeah, I just thought that was such a cool piece. Oh, and did anyone else get that feeling that they were going to show Ned and MJ as a couple?
I did.
My thought was,
it was sitting there in the back of my head, and I hope they don't, because I just feel like it'd be a little too weird and way off pacing for those two characters, even without Peter in the mix.
Yeah, it would be nice to see them genuinely just be friends, but I was really when he came in after Peter, I was sitting there and I leaned over to Drew. I'm like, Drew, they're gonna be together, and he's like, no, he's like, they have to give him a break somewhere.
Another breaking point. Haha.
Yeah.
Hey there, guys and gals. I hope you are enjoying this episode of the Speak Easily podcast. I know I had a lot of fun recording it. Speaking of, have you ever thought about making your own podcast? It's always been something I wanted to do, but I kept putting it off because I could never find the right platform to host it. That is, until I discovered Anchor. Anchor is an all-in-one recording, editing, and hosting app that makes the process simple. And the best part is it's totally free. And I mean genuinely free. And if you're someone like me who has a love-hate relationship with editing audio, let me tell you this, I was blown away by how user-friendly the in-app editing tool actually is. My favorite part, I must admit, is the distribution. Normally with new podcasts, you have to submit your show to various platforms individually, which can be time-consuming and very frustrating. But with Anchor, they do the legwork for you. They'll submit it to Spotify, Apple, Castbox, Google, and several others with just the click of a button. Plus, unlike other platforms, there is no minimum requirement for listeners, so you can monetize your podcast and start earning right away. So, download the free Anchor app available in the App Store or on the Google Play Store, or do what I did and head over to anchor.fm to get started today. Thank you, Anchor, for sponsoring this podcast. I guess this means the next round's on you. I'll drink to that. But my thing is without Peter, would they have ever really, I don't know.
That's my thing too.
Would they have ever really connected and really became genuine friends? I don't.
But that's the problem with.
Weren't they all in the same like math group though?
They were, but she didn't really. I thought Peter was the one who kind of like she started talking to Peter when she was talking to Ned some, but it was because she liked Peter that they started like kind of going back and forth.
Yeah,
That's the way I took it.
Yeah. No,
I'm sorry. I winded us back.
No,
you guys want to talk about end credits and the like?
Well, that was something that I wanted to talk about because I had forgotten about it because I was waiting in that coffee shop scene for him to be like, "Oh, that's a really nice necklace."
So glad he didn't.
You said you're glad he didn't?
the lady doesn't like Zendaya, and she's very jealous that they're together.
No, so I don't mind Zendaya. She's just not my favorite actress.
But she is dating your favorite actor, so
I do love Tom Holland. But it was like nice that he walked away. I was like, yes.
Well,
Won't lie.
I have to agree. I like Zendaya. This isn't my first favorite iteration of MJ by far. Comic books or movies. I just don't like I like the change in casting. I just don't like the way they write her personality. But that's just me.
That's what I mean. Like in general, I like the change because it's a different dynamic than we've seen before, and I'm not the biggest Zendaya fan, but I do like her in this role.
I like her too, and I like she's definitely not a damsel in distress, and I think that that's very cool.
Yes.
They've also written this MJ character with evolution to her character.
Yes.
Probably one of my favorite things about this trio of Ned, Peter, and MJ is you can see a distinct growth in each movie between all of them.
Yes.
You grow up with them through their high school years and them getting to know each other and becoming themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that so much in these movies.
Yep.
They did Ned dirty when they were all saying goodbye, though, because he gets a handshake, and then Tom and Zendaya are all over each other, and Ned's over there in the corner. They did him dirty in that goodbye scene.
I will agree with you on that.
Did you guys see the spark in the secret shake?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Oh yeah, I did notice that.
I just want more Magic Ned. I just love that natural aptitude he had for it. He was making portals faster than Strange.
Listen, as soon as he was like, my grandma says that there's like magic in our family. Me and Gabrielle were like, yes, Ned, yes.
What Bob said about the necklace just made me want to pose this question: does Ned still have the Doctor Strange ring?
No, Strange.
No, he took it back.
Oh, okay.
It was right when he said, "Did you just make a portal?" and then walked away.
Okay.
Smugly smiling, like, I'll remember that for later.
Yeah. Strange was definitely done with having kids around for a little while, though. You could tell he was just like, I want you all to go away.
Mm-hmm.
He literally put them in the basement.
Yeah. It was funny. All right. Mid-credit scene.
So
I'm a little disappointed, but I also understand because it would have messed up the pacing of the movie that we didn't have Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock and Venom in the movie.
Disappointed, but not surprised.
I knew they were going to do it.
I
feel like then it would have been a little too much.
That's what I'm saying. Like I get it. Yeah, I get it. I do. I was just really looking forward to it because I do love him doing those roles. But mid-credit scene was pretty funny. I did like his whole like drunken trying to sort out what the fuck is going on?
I do
So
have
you're
a
telling me
question for all of you, actually, regarding this credit scene. So I understand magic is not 100% foolproof. Like, I mean, it mostly is. Like, Doctor Strange, usually his magic's 100% foolproof. So I want to ask about the little plot hole of how did a little bit of Venom symbiote get left behind with this supposedly all-powerful spell that is supposed to make them all go back to where they came from.
I have another question that's a plot hole for the first spell that brought him over. Why were they brought over in the first place? Spider-Man does not exist in their universe.
No. I do believe Eddie Brock is in the Andrew Garfield Spider-Verse, which is the same Spider-Verse that I believe Morbius is going to be in.
Okay, I can
Because there is
see.
the there's the Oscorp Tower, I believe, is mentioned in whatchamacallit.
Venom.
Yes, mentioned in Venom, where there's like a clip of it, and it's shown. There's news clipping articles in the Morbius trailer for Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, we all believe, and Oscorp Tower.
That's right, I did see those.
Okay.
So I'm 95% sure he knows Peter Parker is a kid he knows. Potentially, I have to rewatch the Venom movies, but that's supposedly one of the theories. And I can sort of explain why there's a blip of Venom left there, because I was thinking about this since I seen the movie on Thursday. So right before they get blipped back, the bartender grabs at Eddie, doesn't he, or something like that?
He's reaching towards him because it looks like he's about to stiff him the bill.
So I believe part of Venom came off on him, and it's just like the Carnage situation. It got attached to the dude and kind of became its own thing because Venom can't keep it in his pants, technically.
Yeah. Okay. That's somewhat understanding.
From what I remember, and from what I remember in the comic books, like the symbiote is like very, very intelligent and very cognizantly aware.
They're a hybrid.
So I would even say that it was aware of what was happening and was trying to, because that little piece can obviously do like
so much damage.
So I'm thinking that it was aware more than what it was telling Eddie, and it wanted to stay in this, like it wanted to stay.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense because at the end of the second Venom movie, Venom is sitting there having a conversation on the beach with Eddie about how there are things about the universe that Eddie doesn't know and how Venom knows so much more than him, and was just kind of, if you put it in the context of what was about to happen, how they were about to get pulled over to the MCU, even though Venom wasn't aware of that at the time, it does make a little bit more sense from a storytelling perspective. You just tease the fact that Venom knows a lot more than he lets on, and then do this. So yeah, I could see it being something like that. All right. Do we want to talk about
one last thing? This is just, ever since Spider-Man 2, everybody has been clamoring because like the term in the comic books for like his rogues gallery was always the Sinister Six, and they have been, everybody forever has been like, oh well, we need like Spider-Man taking on all Sinister Six at once. So I was a little bit underwhelmed with the mid-credit roll, but I was like, well, this is a little bit of fan service because this is the closest we've come, or maybe will come for the foreseeable future, of having a full roster. Because if you count Venom, even though he wasn't in the fights, there technically was members of the Sinister Six all in one movie. So I thought it was a little fan servicey, and I appreciated it.
Yeah. All right, do we want to talk about the trailer? Essentially, is what I feel like the end credit scene was for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
That was a whole ass trailer.
Yeah.
Where do you begin with that?
I don't.
The biggest thing that stuck out to me is Doctor Strange is the villain.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing that stuck out to me, was that he's going to be the villain. There's no way that
Did we watch?
I thought it was just like a an evil Doctor Strange. Like, so if there's a
No.
good Doctor Strange, the one Steven that we know, does a bad one exist and uses his powers for evil? That's the way I viewed it, but maybe I'm way off base.
I feel that they're gonna maybe use him as a catalyst for the big bad end guy, or somehow construed him into it for the end of Phase 4.
Finished What If?
Who's finished What If?
Not I.
I haven't, but
Oh,
spoil
but
it
I've had it
all.
explained in detail to me.
Spoil it
Okay,
all.
so Dylan, you're in agreement with me on who that Doctor Strange was, yes?
I am 95% sure on that. If
Yeah,
not, I don't
that's-
feel he's going to be a big part of it. I think he's going to be a little blip on the vacation of Strange.
Yeah.
Are we talking
So-
about Mephisto or?
No, it's
No.
the Doctor Strange from the What If series. It's Strange. I think he's referred to as Strange Supreme. Who he in the What If series, he went and kind of hunted all of like the mystical magical monsters and absorbed their powers because he was trying to, in his universe, Christine dies and he was trying to prevent her death, but in his universe her death was a fixed point. So he broke his universe trying to save her, and I forget how he fixed it.
He didn't. The Watcher did.
The Watcher did, okay. So he became aware of the Watcher, and then at the end of What If, when the Watcher needs help, he goes to that version of Strange and asks for help, among other people. So that version of Strange knows about the multiverse, knows a lot of things going on, and that looked an awful lot like just like the bags under his eyes and kind of like the sunken features and everything looked a lot like Strange Supreme from the What If series to me.
Interesting.
So I'm excited to see Wanda's
Yes.
role in this.
Screamed when she was on the screen.
Like I know I never officially watched WandaVision, but I know how it ends and what goes on.
We know that Agatha's getting her own TV series, right?
No.
Interesting.
I did
They
not.
announced several more shows that are slated for like the next round of Disney Plus shows, and Agatha House of Harkness is one of them, which I'm very excited for.
Yes, that's because she looks like her.
And you
Yes,
sound like her, Delaney. Therefore, you two are the perfect pair.
we're gonna dress as Wanda and Agatha for the Ren Fair one year, right, Delaney?
Yes.
Only if Steven dresses as Steven.
I'd do that.
I'll be the
I'll make Drew dress
Hobgoblin.
up. I'll make Drew dress up as Loki.
Drew could be Steven Supreme.
That would work too.
Yeah.
You know, he would be happier with that.
Yeah.
Since I'm super old, I can be Tobey Maguire.
Wear your youth pastor shirt.
That's it. Cool youth pastor, thank you.
We have our Let's Be Nerds Ren Fair costumes now.
Yeah.
No, we got to go to Comic-Con and do that.
That works.
Comic-Con.
That is true. I would love to do a Comic-Con.
We'll get there when we get our panel there. It's fine.
Exactly.
Aim big, miss small. Got it.
No, but I'm talking about Steel City Con at the very least.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. I was in love with that trailer that we got at the end. I'm very, very hyped for the new Doctor Strange. They really know how to leave you wanting more and wanting to know more. I have to say that.
Yeah, with Juan, just his voice echoing as you're watching this, and you just hear him go, "The biggest threat to everything is you."
Is you.
That's where I drew my conclusion of him being the bad guy came
Okay.
from. Is that Juan, the Sorcerer Supreme in this in this universe of the multiverse, is saying that Strange is the ultimate evil, so to speak. As of right now, he is the issue at hand. He is the one who poses the biggest threat for the multiverse.
See,
I just
here's
took it
Wait,
as
I
Wong calling him reckless, and
I
his reckless
yeah,
ways is the biggest threat.
and
But
my thing. Sorry, Bob. Go on.
that's okay. It was just that. But I totally see Gordon where you're coming from with that, though.
My whole thing with when trailers are cut, though, it's so easy to misdirect you by
Mm-hmm.
overlaying lines on scenes that are not actually related. So I mean, it's very heavily implied that he is talking to Strange, but we don't know that for sure.
That's true.
wait.
You're not
I
wrong.
don't think that it was Wong. I just fact checked. I was gonna say that didn't sound right, and I just fact checked. It wasn't Wong. It was Baron Mordo. It was the
Oh,
friend
yes,
that
yes,
turned.
yes, that's
Yeah, it
right.
wasn't Wong. But still, I mean, that's his friend turned enemy. So
Okay, so yeah, I could see it being directed as Strange more, no, like thinking about who it's coming from. But still,
yeah.
that doesn't actually mean that Strange is bad. That just means that Mordo doesn't agree with what he's doing, which he already didn't agree with what he was doing.
Mm.
So it's going to be interesting. I need a full, like, all my YouTube channels that I followed, I need them to do a breakdown of that scene alone because it was so much information, so many like quick clips all cut together that I couldn't process it. I was just like, this is for Doctor Strange. This looks really cool. I need this right now. Like that.
Plus, yeah. Plus, we all just went through 2.5 hours of like the biggest emotional roller coaster, and then they throw this mind-bending trailer on you at the end.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
when Drew and I left the theater, like normally leaving a movie like that, we'd be talking about it the whole way home. We rode home in almost complete silence.
Yeah.
We were supposed to come home and like binge The Witcher. We came home and we both just went, we're gonna just do our own things and kind of sit and not talk because like that deserved to sit by itself in our heads for at least a day. Like we couldn't start watching anything else. We couldn't really do anything else because we were trying to just let the whole movie just settle and give it the attention it truly deserved.
I get that.
But I guess, does anybody have anything else you want to add before we close out for the night?
Wait, hold on. I'm reading something that I might want to share. Just 1 second.
Okay.
Bowser.
Well, I'm definitely I mean, just to go off topic to fill in some void here.
Yeah.
My I'm so excited for all the new movies coming out next year. The one it the Dracula looking movie, I forget what it's called. It's like
Morbius.
Mobius or something like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Morbius.
Yeah, with
Morbius.
Jared
Yeah,
Leto.
I am
Mhm.
that looked great. I'm actually excited to see
Yeah,
that.
that looked really cool.
Hmm.
It's one of my favorite.
There's all the movies I saw on screen that are coming out next year. I am looking forward to seeing.
Yeah.
I'm excited for movies again. That's when
Hmm.
this year coming up is just great for movies.
I'm still pumped for Uncharted coming out.
Yes.
I am excited, but I'm also kind of nervous because I really wanted and they waited too long. I really wanted them to cast Nathan Fillion as Drake, and I think he's aged out of the part now, so it won't work. Makes me sad.
No.
I can't remember the name of the title, but in your previews, the one about the moon falling out of orbit? That looks wild.
Oh,
No,
I don't think
No, I
I saw
didn't
that.
hear
I'm
that.
intrigued.
no.
This sounds like Majora's Mask. Tell me more.
Yeah.
I can't, oh God, I'm trying to remember.
Sonic
Who was
2
in
is
it?
what the name of the movie is.
Oh
What
wait,
No,
was?
I
it's starring
wish.
Halle Berry. Moonfall.
Yes.
Okay, Moonfall is an upcoming
Oh.
science fiction scheduled for release on February 4th, 2022. Wow. Hmm.
Yeah, everyone go watch that trailer. It's wild.
You know what trailer I just saw recently when I went to go see Spider-Man that did not excite me at all?
What?
The one where they're in the ambulance after they rob a bank.
I didn't see that one.
We didn't
Oh
see
yeah,
it.
that's Jake
Oh,
Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a Michael Bay movie or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I have very little interest in it. It just looks like a movie about two guys who shot a cop while robbing a bank, and they kidnap a ambulance driver, and they just ride around in the ambulance trying to get away.
Well, let me just say this real quick with you, Dylan, because I get what you're saying, but we have to also think that we are still kind of coming into that phase, or whatever you want to call it, where films had to really adapt because of COVID. And I know Jake Gyllenhaal was like really big on this, and he actually did a movie, I believe, with Netflix, where essentially it's just him. He's like a troubled cop, and he's basically going to court, and it's a big deal, and he's working a desk job as a 911 operator. And the
It was
whole
actually
film,
really good.
yes, and I really had the same thing that you thought when I saw the trailer. I'm like, oh my god, how great could it be? Thinking that it's one room, it's him yelling at some lady about this and that. I was really surprised by that movie, and so when I saw the trailer for Ambulance, I immediately thought of that movie, and I was like, well, that one surprised me, so maybe this one would surprise me too. That's all I'm gonna say.
Alrighty, well, if nobody has anything else to add about Spider-Man.
No, I think we covered all the bases.
Spider-Pig movie.
I
I
wanna
just washed my hands. That's why they're wet. No other reason.
I
Oh
would
my
watch a
gosh.
spin-off movie or TV show about all three Spider-Men, and like just
Oh,
doing daily tasks, for God's sakes.
Yeah, them like sharing
Yeah,
an
they should all just get an
apartment.
apartment together
Yes. Yeah.
and
Yes.
make it like a sitcom too.
I would
Right.
love it.
I'm here
Live
for it.
audience.
Yeah.
Spiders and a boy.
I'm here for it.
How I Met Your Spider. Like
Something.
How I got bit by your spider.
How I shoot my webs.
there you go.
All right. Well, we
Old
want
web.
to thank all of our
Sorry, I'm done.
listeners.
Old Weber.
Do you guys use
Okay.
fluid?
All right. Let Lizette do her outro.
Oh
my
gosh.
God.
We want to thank all of our listeners for being here for our rambles today. If you've seen Spider-Man No Way Home, please leave us some comments, what your thoughts on the movie were. Did you enjoy it as much as we did? Did you find any problems with it? If you did, please share them with us because we would love to debate it with you. Because I found nothing wrong with this movie. But with that being said, we will see you next time.
Gordon, Lizette, are you guys as excited about the New Year's Eve special as I am?
You know it, Steve.
I mean, I know me and Drew are excited. We're both going to be there. And I think, Dylan, you're going to be there too, aren't you?
You bet your shiny gold buttons I'll be there.
Guys, do you know who else? Carmen, you are coming. I'm so excited.
Yeah, me and Bobby wouldn't miss it for the world.
So this is going to be our first time doing a live event, and people that are listening can actually come in, join the chat. They can join in on a microphone or through text chat, and they can actually be a part of it. This is like the best way to end season 1.
I lost my left shoe thinking about it.
Did it knock your socks off?
No, I didn't even have those on in the first place, so just a shoe.
Just a shoe.
What time is this going to start at?
So we're looking at, because obviously we have to celebrate midnight. So we're thinking around 10 or 10:30. We're going to have more details to follow. So this is really important. If you want to be a part of our New Year's Eve special, you have to get on Discord or Reddit. You have to be a part of the community to be on. I can't explain how excited I am for us to be live. We're going to take your chats. You can join in on the call. Tell us what you like about the show, what you don't like. This is going to be the most interactive we've ever been with anybody. It's so exciting. But, Gordon, do you know what the real thing is? Is they have to have green room. Can you tell them about green room?
You have to have green room. Green room is a lovely addition to Spotify where we are able to go live and just be able to record with all of you guys listening in. You guys can ask to speak with us. You can join us. You can join in the live chat throughout the whole thing. We can bring you on so you can share your opinion on our podcast or just your opinion on some random BS like we love to do on our podcast, and just chill with us all night.
And Lizette, do you know what the best part is?
What's
If
that?
are you a listener to Spotify?
Yes.
If you have a Spotify account, you can just download the Green Room app and immediately create an account. How easy is that?
Oh, okay. So it just ties into the account that you already have for Spotify.
Exactly. It's perfect. It's going to be like a 2-second download process and then a 2-second sign-in process.
Okay.
Carmen, I don't know about you, but I would really think that it'd be cool if some of our listeners would like either join in on the voice chat or through text and tell us New Year's resolutions. Are you big on New Year's resolutions?
Not so much on resolutions, but I just love being with friends and family, and I think it would be a great time to have more of our friends and family who are listening be a part of this, so that we get to hear from everybody. And what's a better way than celebrating the new year than to start off with a group of friends that are all on the same page?
Exactly. Dylan, I can't wait. Are you excited?
I am. Like I said, I lost my left shoe, and I think the cat took the right.
Oh my gosh.
I should hopefully find it in time. If not, like you said, I can join through Reddit or I can join through the Discord.
I can't wait. Well, I will see you guys all there, and everybody listening, we hope to have you be a part of our special night. It's the season 1 finale. If you're enjoying the Let's Be Nerds podcast, please come join us, and let's kick off the new year together and safely, in social distance, and just kind of be a part of a group where everybody's welcome and everybody's accepted. Hope to see you there. Let's Be Nerds is hosted and executive produced by Gordon Bryant and me, Stephen J. McLean. Let's Be Nerds is a production of Speak Easily Productions. Our social media manager is Kylie Gregg. Our managing producer and co-host is Lizette Ayala. Today's guest host was Robert Van Jacobs. You can follow him on all social media platforms at Bobby Dub Music. To keep up with the latest on Let's Be Nerds, join our Discord server linked in the description box below. Follow us on Instagram at Let's Be Nerds Pod, or find us on Twitter at Let's the letter B Nerds.